Hey everybody! Dang, I'm all busted. I just got out of work and I had some time to come on. Dang, I look like I've been through the rut. Today was one of those days, man. Like, it's just been rugged. I'm having some of my Ultima electrolytes. These are amazing, guys. No sugar, no calories, and no carbs. But I wanted to come on real quick, and since I have time, I'm gonna be driving to Phoenix to see one of my sisters from church, and spend some time with her, just because, I don't know, it's just because, no specific reason, it was put on my heart. I like people, believe it or not. I like people, believe it or not. Sometimes people don't like me, and I think they just don't understand me because I'm a pretty chill person. But I wanted to come on here and talk about self-worth. I was doing self-worth in one of my in one of my classes, and I'm sorry, the camera's all jacked up. Hold up, let me see. Turn it this way. Before I start driving, I just want to make sure it's cool. So I was doing it in one of my classes, and like I didn't never realize that most of my classes or people I talk to, they're like in their late 30s, 40s. And so I wanted to talk about self-worth and what it is. And so self-worth is, your belief about your value as a person, not based on what you do or how you look or how others treat you, and I think sometimes because we've been through so much stuff, we really don't have that self-worth of what we're worth. It's that inner voice that you're able to tell yourself, like, I matter, I belong and I am enough. Like, I don't need to deal with this. Like, I'm worthy of so much more, whenever. So, I just wanted to put that out there. It's, when self-worth is strong, you don't need approval or to feel like you're whole, or, you carry it with you. It's just a stance you have about yourself, like, you don't have to be worthy, like, oh, am I good enough, or, oh, like, I have to always do this with this person, or it has to be. You're worthy of so much more to make those decisions on your own. I think that why self-worth is so hard to build, and people, especially Native people, is it could be anywhere, because we're not the only ones who have experienced childhood trauma. But why is it so hard to build? Like, childhood trauma, you were treated like your needs didn't matter. Abuse, neglect, or like, chaos teaches you, like, abuse, neglect, chaos, abandonment teaches you that I must not be worth protecting. How many of us have been sexually molested as children? And I know I can be vulnerable because I love you guys. There's not really a lot about my story you guys don't know or haven't get to know, because I don't gatekeep on my story too much. But I must not be worth protecting. As a kid, you should feel like your older people or people in your surroundings in your home were there to protect you. But that comes like, I'm not worth protecting. So then when you grow up and you get in those toxic relationships, and there's that one man that's so toxic, but he helps you feel protected. So guess what? You settle for that and you deal with all the other BS. So you're not feeling worthy, you know. And it could come from like addictions. You know, you may have used substances, you know, to numb, whether it be, you know, I always use substances, but addictions could be any form of addictions, sexual addictions, gambling addictions, eating addictions, shopping addictions, you know, to numb our pain, but then, you know, felt shame for everything that helped you survive, you know, and you feel shame for the very thing that helped you survive, you know, you feel shame for that addiction, you know, but that's what helped you survive, you know, and that shame feeds a lie, like I'm broken, I'm beyond repair. Abandonment, we feel abandoned. Oh, my grandbabies. Abandonment, when those who were supposed to love you leave or hurt you, it's easy to believe it's your fault. It plants seeds, you know. If I had value, oh, my thing's falling, sorry guys. If I had value, let me see, I'm trying to put that too. If I had value, like, it's not staying, guys, so hold up right there. If I had value, they would have stayed in my life, or they would have been in my life, you know. So I think more for say, like, especially in Native communities, I need to look at the map here a little bit to make sure I don't get lost. The deeper wounds to self-worth come from historical trauma, centuries of being told directly or indirectly you don't belong or you don't matter. That is trickled down from grandparents, mom, dad. You know, it's a trickle effect of historical trauma. And oh Lord, the Son, Jesus, Lord. Okay. So it's like it's trickled down from that centuries of being told directly you don't belong, or hold on guys, let me pull over a sec. I gotta get this camera right because the camera is like trying to fall apart on me over here, or it's not connecting harsh enough. So let me just make sure. But it can come from that, you know, telling you don't matter, and you know, the generational trauma of like boarding schools even. And okay, I hope that's fine. Boarding schools, you know, and land theft, like, you know, people, you know, dealt with that in their generational traumas that, believe it or not, trickled down to us. You know, you'd be like, what? I never been in boarding school, and this or that or that or this, and little do you know, it's trickled down. And that's why some of our parents parented the way they parented us. You know, all built on a lie, you know, that we had no value, that Native lives had no value. So you got to remember that and always keep that generational trauma. Like, learn about it, guys. Like, it's real. Lord, if I could turn my camera around and show you this traffic. So, you know, it just goes in depth with how, you know, your loss of your identity and culture plays a huge piece with it. When language or traditions are striped from your families, it also stripes a sense of place and purpose, which trickles down to you. You know, we don't talk about it enough. We think that we were just born with it. We're not just born with it. You know, systematic racism, facing barriers, facing barriers in healthcare, education. There's some things there are some things that are given to other races that are not so freely handed over to people of our race, or other races. We face barriers in education growing up. I mean, I grew up and I remember the racism and stuff with my own people. I grew up hating white people and I grew up hating natives. Why? Because if you don't know, now you know. Like, I'm half white. My dad's white, straight white, man. And, well, my mom's native from Salt River. And